Welcome back from Holiday Break, Saints. I'm Sophie DeRoy.
And I'm Caitlin Riley.
And this is SFHS Today. Here's a recap of some of the biggest stories of 2019. In world news, on April 15th, the 850-year-old French cathedral Notre Dame caught fire. According to CNN President Emmanuel Macron promised Parisians they will rebuild this cathedral together.
In national news, this year 2 million people RSVP'd on Facebook for an event on September 20th to raid Area 51. The event, titled Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop Us All, was created by a 21-year-old Maddie Roberts of Bakersfield, California as a joke, but soon spiraled out of control and was later turned into an alien-themed EDM music festival.
In school news, Beth Geese was sworn in on July 1st as our new superintendent. The construction continues to be worked on, with new classrooms and areas opening up around us all the time.
This year, the U.S. Surgeon General declared vaping a youth epidemic in Minnesota. Teen tobacco use is up for the first time in 17 years, and St. Francis is not immune to the problem.
Here's reporter Morgan Nielsen on how vaping has affected this community.
Hey guys, I'm Morgan Nielsen, and I'm gonna find out more about vaping. I heard this is where it happens, so let's go.
Sure. So the first big myth that I think would be good to touch on is the fact that there is nicotine in every e-juice and every vaping device that you might use. So sometimes we hear students talking about that, it's nicotine free, but even when it's labeled nicotine free, we are still seeing some trace amounts of nicotine, enough to addict someone. So really important to know that there's nicotine in all of these devices. I would say another big myth, especially around the current news right now and these lung injuries and deaths, is really that these lung injuries are only being caused by this vitamin E acetate. That's one of the potential causes, but it really isn't the only cause. And a lot of students are saying that it really is only from THC, but there are deaths and lung injury cases that are from people that have used only nicotine-containing products. So really important to remember that this isn't a THC-only situation.
Weekly, how many vapes are confiscated?
About 2 a week. Here is the bag of vapes I have confiscated so far this year. There are more that I have at the police department that are in evidence that are used that had marijuana in them. These are nicotine.
How many kids have you caught vaping?
I've caught 3 kids vaping.
How many kids have you caught vaping?
3. I've caught 3 in my classrooms.
What are your thoughts on vaping?
Vaping is very serious. It's a really bad choice to make. I think that students and people in general don't really think about the risks of it before they start. So hopefully if you haven't started vaping, I'm hoping many of you haven't, then do not start. And if you have started, please look for help.
The theater department is having their one-act show on January 24th in the Performing Arts Center for their show, The Hanging Girl.
Reporters Allie Frank and Katie Mickelberg have some in-depth interviews with the cast.
What Act, it's a competitive play, so we go to different competitions, and there's only a certain number of people allowed in it, so this is our only show in SFHS Theater that not everybody is accepted into.
So the show is like a 3-part show, kind of. They're all intermixed with each other. So the first part is we're at a party with a bunch of high school kids, and this boy Sonny tells the urban legend of the hanging girl. And that would be like the second part of the story. Well, the third part is we actually see the true urban legend of the hanging girl and how the story came to be.
And we have a 10x10 set that we have all our props, stage, everything needs to be in that 10x10 square. And yeah.
What makes one act challenging?
For an actor at least, it's really hard because we don't have mics and we are moving to new theaters every competition, so we have to learn how to project and have good diction so the audience and the judges can actually hear us.
Certain things, because we only have 35 minutes to perform the whole show, And so we have to find what can we cut out where the story still makes sense, or like how long do we have to act things out, because if we go over our time limit, then we're disqualified. And
it really kind of helps your improv skills. So like as a team, we pretty much do everything as a team. So if we're making cuts, we like talk about that as a group, and we like pitch in different ideas as to how we can make things different and how we can make it work with what we need to fit into.
In more activity news, Bridge Street Stingers had their first show choir competition on January 4th in Wisconsin. Elena Grove and Gabby Giving went and got the scoop.
How many competitions do you have this year?
6.
Where is your first competition?
It is in Colby, Wisconsin.
What's the date of that?
January 4th. We'll get to our competition and unload our bus, and then we're, start the day at the competition. Our day usually starts off with just watching a few groups, and then, after we get to see some groups, we'll start to get into our preparation phase where, we're getting in the right mental space. We're going to start getting our costumes on. The girls have their hair and makeup, which takes a really long time. And then we'll have our vocal warm-ups. We get about half an hour for that, and then we get to go into a practice room to do a movement warm-up and just get ready to perform. Eventually we'll go to the awards ceremony. At awards, we get to find out whether or not we make finals or not. If we make finals, we get to perform again. So it's kind of that same process.
What have you been working on to get better this season?
We have been doing a lot of footwork with Kabilka now, because she's here from Waconia, and most of the music with Tell Show.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm most looking forward to this season, one, the bus rides, and also going back to Gretna since we got Grand Champs there last year.
I'm also excited to kind of hopefully place and have a little party afterwards with the group.
my favorite part about show choir competitions is watching other groups perform. It's going on the bus rides to the comps.
My favorite parts about show choir competitions would have to be bus rides, hotel stays, and the Bemidji girls.
This year, St. Francis High School got new stick-on parking permits.
Here's reporter Brett Overvold and Zach Graff on how to properly apply these new permits.
Hey guys, so a lot of people have been having issues putting their parking passes on in the second trimester since it's gotten colder. So Zach and I here are going to show you how to put these on the proper way so they'll stay there and you don't have to tape it to your windshield. So let's go. So your first step to putting your parking pass on properly is going to be to turn your defrost on and let your heat kick in for a while. So let your windshield get all warmed up from the cold. So step number 2 is going to be to clean your windshield. Windex freezes, so we're going to let this thaw out for a couple minutes and we'll be back in no time. So once your windshield's warmed up enough, you're going to want to take your glass cleaner and some napkins or whatever you want to do, and you're going to want to clean off wherever you're going to put your parking permit. So we're going to do, and then after that, you're going to want to make sure your windshield is good and dry, and probably let the heat run for another couple minutes just to dry it out some more. So we'll do that now and come back later. Okay, so you're gonna put it down in the corner here, and you're gonna want the words to be sticking out so they can be seen from the outside. And you're gonna want it to be smooth, and it should just go on. Oh, that's a little crooked. Just go on like that, and you're gonna wanna flatten it on there and make sure there's no air bubbles in it.
Now that 2020 has begun, we wanted to hear what you want to accomplish this year.
Reporters Haley Howland and Caitlin Vagsness on some of your New Year's resolutions.
It's the random question thing, ding.
My New Year's resolution is to create a big dessert pizza with brownie bread, and on top of that, some hot fudge as a sauce with frosting as cheese and toppings of small chocolates as pepperonis.
What's your New Year's resolution and why?
I'm just trying to gain some more weight so I can get some more muscle on me for being in the weight room, stuff like that.
Resolution.
My New Year's resolution is to be a nicer person.
Mine is to care about others. What is your guys' New Year's resolution and why?
We're gonna make 1 million subs at Subway.
Because Subway's amazing, and so are sandwiches.
What's your New Year's resolution and why?
Probably to get a job, because I'm broke and I need money.
Winter is in full swing with all the snow we have been getting.
Reporters Olivia Olson, Bree Booley, and Brooke Honingschmidt wanted to teach you how to build a snowman.
Today, we're going to show you how to build a snowman. Now you roll out the bottom. Now you roll the head out. Go. After you roll out the head, you then put it on the body. And that's how you make a snowman.
Now let's kick it over to sports.
Hey, Saints. I'm Jordan Haller, and this is sports. The boys' basketball team had some away games over the break against Blaine, Andover, and Spring Lake Park. This week, they have an away game on Tuesday against Becker at 7:15. They also have a home game against North Branch at 7:15. The girls' basketball team was at Providence Academy over break and also had a home game against Princeton. They play at home this week against Becker at 7:15, and they are away at North Branch at 7:15. Before we left for break in December, the Coaches Against Cancer doubleheader event was very successful, and we raised a lot of money. AJ Scardilli got the rebound at the very end of the game for the buzzer beater for a fantastic win. The boys hockey team was in St. Cloud for a tournament over break and faced the Blue Jackets over the weekend too. This week they have 3 home games: Tuesday Forest Lake, Thursday Princeton, and Saturday Rochester Lords. Saturday is at 1 and the other 2 are at 7. The girls hockey team had a tournament in Blaine over break, and they played Duluth Denfield on Friday. This week they play at Chisago Lakes at 7 tomorrow. On Friday they have a home game against Cambridge at 7. I'm going to give this over to Hunter Dustman. He got to talk to some of the girls.
How's your season going so far?
It's not going as expected, but we're working at it very hard in practice and hoping things will get better soon.
How are the underclassmen doing?
They're doing pretty good. They blend in with us pretty well. A lot of them are from the middle school, so they're doing pretty good. They're up to pace and speed with us, so.
How's the future looking for them?
For some of the girls, it's actually looking pretty good, and the other ones are starting to come up with them, so they're all gonna probably look pretty good when they get to where we are right now.
How are the underclassmen holding up?
Well, we have a very young team this year, and they're trying their hardest on the ice and putting in a lot of effort. And I think as each game goes by, we're just gonna keep getting better and better.
What are your goals for the rest of the season?
To come together more as a team, I think, and to work harder together.
The wrestling team had a Rochester Christmas tournament over break and also got to head up to Fargo for the Rumble on the Red tournament. They also had a meet over this weekend on Saturday. This Saturday, they have a meet at Centennial at 9:30 a.m. The dance team had a Henry Sibley Invitational over the weekend on Saturday. This week, the girls' gymnastics team has a home meet at the middle school at 6:30. That's it for sports this week, folks. Check in next week for more progress on our winter sports.
Make sure to check out our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook account, and our website, thesfhscrier.com, for more news. That's all we have this week for you, Saints.
Stay safe, Saints.